Well, good afternoon YouTube. I've been trying to do this video for quite some time now, but I ran out of battery last time, so I'll have another go at it. I wanted to do a video review of this little beauty, the Epiphone EJ200CE, which is the electrified version of the EJ200. And not only does it have the pickups, which are extra, it also has this nice little cutaway here, which I don't think just the plain acoustic version has. I think it's like a square shouldered thing here, so that's quite handy as well if you're an upper fret merchant. I wanted to do a review because when I was looking at buying this guitar and comparing it to one or two others in a similar sort of bracket, there was lots of YouTube videos of people playing and all that kind of stuff, which was great. I don't think you really get the proper tone of a guitar through a laptop speaker using a little piddly camcorder mic anyway, so not terribly useful. What I was more interested in was understanding some of the spec and some of the features on the guitar, which, although explained on the Epiphone website, use typically jargony type words like nano flex and nano mag and all this kind of crap. I didn't really know what that meant, so I'm hoping this review might be useful to anyone who finds themselves or is lucky enough to find themselves in the same position I was in, where they're considering buying one of these things. Because if you want to cut the whole review quite short, I can tell you now it's absolutely cracking bit of kit. I love it. No, it's not a £2 Martin or Taylor or anything like that. That's not what I wanted, and I don't have that sort of money to drop on a guitar of that quality. For what I wanted this for, it's absolutely perfect. The tone off it, the sound of it's beautiful, and that's the end of the review. So you can skip the rest. Buy it, it's great. For those of you who are a bit more interested in hearing me rambling on for the next 15-20 minutes or so, I'll just take you through some of the features of the guitar. First of all, the appearance. As you can see, I went for the vintage sunburst finish. It's available in 3 finishes: black, natural, which was also very nice. I think the black might show the fingerprints quite a lot. Natural, which was lovely as well, but this vintage sunburst, and I kind of held out until this one became available because I really like the finish on it. That's a personal thing, I know. Just take you around the finish. It's nice faded in here. The back of the neck also has from a sort of dark, light and dark again, and here you've got this nice binding effect here, and the sunbursting continues, and also on the shoulders, if you can see that with the strap, dark here and sunbursty here, and again on the bottom of the guitar as well. And then on the edge of the headstock you've got a bit of a burst going on as well. It's got the mother of pearl effect, I suppose they are, crown inlays, which look really nice on this particular model, I think. Gold hardware, moustache bridge, fancy pick guard, which I'm led to believe is just a screen print, so that will probably scratch off after a good bit of use, but hey ho. And the body shape is a super jumbo, so for anyone who's used to a dreadnought style acoustic like I was, it is quite a deep guitar front to back. I don't know if you can see that at all. It is quite a deep guitar front to back, and also very sort of bulbous here, quite a big body shape, which I happen to like, but again I suppose that's a personal thing. Well, I've talked about the gold hardware. Yeah, I think this is, there's Grover tuners, the machine heads there, Grover tuners, so very stable, good quality tuners. Never had any problems with it staying in tune. I restrung it, was the first thing I did. I put a set of elixirs on it, 10s actually, which is a lot lighter than I would normally use. That's all they had, and I thought I'll replace them later. I'll just get the 10s for now. And I quite like them. I think I'll stick with them. They haven't broke so far, so all good. And you've got this nice, obviously, rosette, the triple bound rosette thing. There's a lot of and the edge binding around the body shape as well in cream, which is really nice. I'm not the sort of bloke who's going to get up close and personal with a magnifying glass and then bitch about the finish and all the rest of it. To me, looks nice, and I'm happy with the appearance, the aesthetic of the instrument, if you will. What was I going to go on to say? Some of the sort of electronic wizardry going on in this particular guitar for the money is absolutely superb. I should just say I bought this specifically with a view to having it plugged into an amp in a small intimate pub type gig, singer-songwriter evening, you know, acoustic night, unplugged, whatever you want to call it, that kind of thing. But I also wanted it, I'm in a band, I play bass in a band, you can check out my other videos, we call Grounds for Divorce. I play bass in a sort of classic rock covers band, and I also wanted a decent guitar that would fit the bill if ever we wanted to do any sort of acoustic intros or anything nice like that. So again, on the appearance alone, I think it's lovely. The sound quality, I think when it's plugged in, is superb. I'm a big fan of Epiphone products anyway, I have to confess. Having said that, if it was a pile of junk, then I'll tell you it was a pile of junk. I wouldn't do a positive review just because it's got Epiphone on the headstock, although I am a big Epiphone fan. There's a lot of debate online on this particular model as to whether or not it has a solid top or not, and depending on which website you go to and which people you listen to, some are vehemently stating that it's a solid spruce top. Others, included on the Epiphone official website from a couple of years ago anyway, are calling it a select spruce top, which is a euphemism, a nice way of Epiphone saying a laminated top. Now again, none of that was important to me particularly because I intend on plugging the instrument in most of the time, and that, you know, playing sort of rock and that kind of stuff, I'm really not going to be appreciating the tonal qualities of a gorgeous solid spruce top. I have solid spruce top guitars, and I wanted something just to rock out with. So although it matters not to me whether this is a solid top or whether it isn't a solid top, the results of my research really, I think, highlighted two things. First of all, I'm of the belief that the later models of these, the newer ones in other words, Epiphone upgraded the spec and did make them in a solid top, so I believe I have a solid top instrument here. I did try and look, but it's very difficult to tell on the edge of the sound hole because the finish goes all the way over, so just looking for the grain there, I can't really tell whether it's laminate or solid top. I believe Epiphone upgraded the spec, so the later ones, the newer ones, are solid top, so I think this is a solid top. Secondly, what I also learned, or what some people believe anyway, is that for a plugged-in instrument, a laminate top is actually probably a better move than a solid top. I know a lot of people may disagree with that. Meant to be more stable and all that kind of thing. So I don't know if that's true or not. Again, I'll bring it back to what I said a few moments ago. It don't really matter to me. I'm happy with it. Before I get onto the electronics and the pickups and everything else and let you hear what it sounds like, it's probably worth mentioning at this stage, probably the only negative that I can think of with this particular guitar, and I do love it. I know I've already said that, but I do love it. The only negative is the sound projection and the volume of the guitar unplugged. Disappointed me a little bit, if I'm being honest. I was expecting for such a large body and a super jumbo and all that. The sound to me was a little bit thin, unplugged. Again, not a massive problem because I'm not planning on playing it unplugged very much. I'll just put good enough, you know, it's alright, but I'm not planning on playing it much unplugged, as I keep saying. So a little bit disappointed, but I was expecting more oomph, to put it a technical way that you musicians will understand, unplugged. But it isn't really. It's not actually much brighter or boomier or whatever than my standard. I've got a Seagull solid cedar top in there. I've also got a Tanglewood Dreadnought with a solid cedar top, solid spruce top, sorry. And it's no better or worse than them, to be quite honest with you. What I like most, I think, about the guitar, other than the electronics, which I think I'll come on to in a moment, is the neck, the action on the neck. To me, it plays more like an electric than any acoustic I've ever owned. The action is fairly consistent the whole way up, even beyond the 12th, 15th fret up here. It's very playable the whole way up there if you have a mind to go that far up the neck. But the neck itself and the action and everything else straight out of the box, I've had no setup done on this, to me was absolutely superb. I love it, love playing. It's a lovely playing instrument, the action and the neck and the neck radius, the shape, whatever. It's very comfortable to play. I want to talk about the electronics on this because I think this is where it really begins to shine and come into its own. Again, I hear a lot of people on the internet berating this particular pickup, saying, oh, it's not like you get on a Taylor or a Martin. Well, as I said, I've not just dropped £2 grand on this. These were reduced recently by Epiphone. The retail on these was £329 when I started looking at them. They're now £299, so 300 quid. I don't know why they do this, but exactly the same price as the plain acoustic version, and for that you're getting the extra electronics for free, effectively. The pickups, because there are two on this particular guitar, I think are quite simply outstanding. I love them. You have a standard under saddle, under bridge pickup, whatever, here. That you would get on most electric acoustics, I suppose. But then in addition to that, just here at the base of the neck, about half a centimetre deep, is the Nano Mag. I think that one is the Nano Mag pickup. The controls on the top, look them up on the Epiphone website for a proper picture, because better than me trying to zoom in and stuff on them on my own here. The controls on the top, you've first of all the battery compartment. Now this takes two CR2032 watch style batteries, you know, the sort of flat circular silver ones. It takes two of those. They're meant to last longer than the standard 9-volt batteries that you would normally get in a pickup of this type. They're lighter, they're more environmentally friendly, whatever. And it takes two of those, so that's the first thing to say. Don't be carrying a spare 9-volt because it won't fit. And this little compartment here on the top just slides off and they slide out in like a little tray, I think. I've not had to replace them yet, so I don't know. The next control down, sorry, there's then a strip of lights here for the tuning control, which when you activate the tuner with this switch at the bottom, it does a nice fancy sweep across the LEDs or whatever they are, and it tells you with a blue light, I think it is, which note it is you're playing, and then it tells you with a green or a red whether you're green or two reds. Yeah, green in the middle is in tune, red one side for sharp, red the other side for flat. So green in the middle then for when you're in tune. And the tuner, or quite nicely actually, also mutes the output. So if you're of a mind to plug in and out on stage or through a PA type situation, you don't get that popping noise that you would get sometimes when you unplug an instrument like this. You can just hit the tuner and it mutes, and also obviously of course while you're tuning up it means your audience hasn't got to listen to you squeaking away trying to get the thing in tune. So nice little tuning function there, on and off, also acts as a mute as I've said. The next control down is a slide control which allows you to select between the two pickups or a blend of them both together, and you can vary that. It's not notched or anything. There's an indent in the middle just to tell you you're in the middle position, but then other than that it's not notched, so it's a variable sweep. All the way over to the left for Nano Mag, which is the neck pickup, all the way over to the right for a Nano Flex, which is the under the saddle pickup. Now if you listen to Epiphone's blurb, you'll see that this particular pickup here, the Nano Flex, is different to a standard bridge pickup in that it also captures the any percussive effects on the soundboard. So if you're in the sort, to start knocking and stuff when you're playing as part of a percussive style of playing, it would also pick up that and the sort of tonal characteristics of the whole soundboard rather than just what the strings are doing, which is quite nice if you believe the blurb. Now, contrary to what you would believe if you used to play an electric instruments, I've found that the bridge, the under the saddle pickup here, gives a more sort of muffled, warm sound on its own, and the neck pickup here gives a much brighter, clearer tone. I found my favourite position is a blend of the two. Smack bang in the middle is what I like to, I've experimented a little bit, that's what I like to use. You've then got two two separate EQs, cut and boost type operation, one for each pickup. So the centre indent is, what is it now? Yeah, as you sweep it down from the centre indent, which is flat effectively, then you've got a boost in bass and a cut in treble, and as you twist it up past the indent, centre indent, you're doing the opposite. You're boosting treble and cutting bass, I think is what it says. Again, look it up on the Epiphone website, I can't remember. It makes it sound different, that's all you need to know, and you adjust it until you get a sound that you like. And then in the middle here, so you've got the two EQs for the pickups here, and then in the middle here at the bottom you've got the master volume, which is fairly self-explanatory. You've got a little red LED just under the blend control for the pickups, which stays on to give you a low battery warning. I've never seen that yet, so I think it may come on briefly when you plug the thing in, but I think if you have a low battery, it stays on just to warn you. So you've got master volume at the bottom, and then at the very bottom, where you've got two little switches, one side for the tuner and mute, and one this side, which is a phase filter, phase switch, like a notch filter type thing, where if you're getting any body resonant feedback from the instrument, you can click that in or out, and it will cancel the feedback. So it's like a feedback eliminated switch, if you like. Now, interestingly enough, I was playing this the other night. I normally play it stood up just here because I have a microphone. I don't know if you can see that on the video. And I've never ever used the phase switch. I went and sat down here on the settee to play the other night, and it was a really bassy feedback from the top E string here, a real woo, like a sort of hum thing. I clicked the phase switch in, and it just disappeared. There was no more. Didn't change the tone noticeably, I didn't think. But it did cancel that feedback, so that's quite a handy little feature to have as well, I guess. You've also here the standard input jack thing is here, which also doubles as your strap pin. So the centre of that is hollow, and that's where your jack goes. That's for both pickups, so you can activate both pickups going out through a mono output, a mono send from the guitar, which would be your standard arrangement for most electric acoustics, I guess. But here you've also got a second output jack, which is, if you want to, it actually labels on it so you can remember. You can plug in essentially two leads, send them to different amps if you're that way inclined, or have a stereo, I suppose, into a PA desk through a DI box. You have a stereo, and then adjust the blend then with the blend control on the top of the pickup there. So you've got those two options. You've a mono out where both pickups are available, or if you plug in the second lead, each out works a different pickup, if that makes sense, and gives you a stereo option. The way I've seen this demonstrated online is that you can send one pickup to an acoustic amp and another pickup to an electric amp. So if you want to wail away and do some fuzzy, distorted stuff halfway through a song, you just flick over the pickup to the electric amp, for example, or the one you've got going through an effects unit or a pedal, and then you can go back again to the standard acoustic tone just with the flick of the blend control at the top. Nice feature to have. I'm not sure I'll use it, but nice to have. I tend to use just the mono out, standard out, and as I've said, put the blend control for both pickups in the middle position, so you're getting the brightness of the neck pickup with the warmth of the saddle pickup down here. So it's quite nice. What else was I going to tell you about? Yeah, the other guitar I was looking at was one of the G series Takamines, or Takamines, however you say it, and I played that same body shape as a Super Jumbo. It came in a natural finish, which I really liked. It was a good bit more expensive. It was a couple of £100 more, nearly twice as much, I suppose. Not quite twice as much, but it was sort of around a 500, 480, 460, something like that. So it was a good bit dearer than this. And to be quite honest with you, I wanted a new bass at the same time, so I couldn't justify dumping that much on an acoustic. I played them back to back in the shop. Couldn't tell a great deal of difference between the Takamine and the Epiphone. I like them both. I think I actually prefer the look of this now I have it. So yeah, that's it. The other strap button, by the way, I've just noticed is here on the back of the neck, rather than on the shoulder as you would on a lot of electric guitar type arrangements. So that's the Epiphone EJ200CE with the electronics. I'll play a couple of chords. I'm not going to play anything fancy, but I'll play a couple of chords now because I'm not sure how well this picks up on this little camcorder mic. And also your laptop speakers, which are probably listening to this through, so it's not really good for a sound test. But just to give you, this is unplugged at the moment, so. Unplugged. So to me, it sounds a bit thin, to be quite honest with you. It's okay, it's no better or worse than the other acoustics. It's when it's plugged in that it really comes into its own, and that's specifically what I bought it for. So I'm happy. It's doing what I wanted. I'm just going to plug it in now. I'm using that to give you a quick test of that. So I'm not sure how good it will come out. I have an Ashdown 100-watt radiator acoustic amp here with a bit of plate reverb on, just to give it a bit of extra warmth. I activated the tuner then just to mute it when I was plugging in, so you didn't get that big pop noise. I'll turn that off now, and I'm not sure how this is going to come out, but I'll play the same what I just played, plugged in now with a bit of reverb for warmth, and I'm not sure what the volume level's like, but we'll give it a go anyway. Just a quick sound clip there, as I said. I'm not sure how well that will come out. One thing to just be wary of, I think with most of these guitars are the same, that the on-off switch for the pickup is inside the jack. So essentially, if it's plugged in, if there's a lead plugged into it, then your pickup's switched on. You might just want to bear that in mind, because if you leave it that way stored, which I did to start with, it will obviously run the battery down very quickly. So even if your amp and all isn't switched on, always take the lead out when you finish, and that effectively turns the pickup off. Now, I didn't know that, and it certainly doesn't say it in the instructions. I found out later on. I've had it since I've had it about 2 months. Played it quite a lot. I haven't had to change the batteries yet. I've heard some stories online about battery life being a bit crap and then drain the battery and all that. Well, I've certainly not experienced that. I've got a hard case for it. I've splashed out and got a Hiscox hard case. I'm going to do a separate review on that because that is absolutely superb. I was going to buy the Epiphone case or something similar, like a plywood, hard case covered in the black leather or whatever leather effect stuff. The bloke at the shop online, his opinion was shouldn't bother with those cases. He wouldn't trust a guitar, particularly an acoustic, in one. I thought it'd be good enough, but he encouraged me to get a Hiscox case. Now, he wasn't doing a sales number on me because he didn't even have any Hiscox cases in. It was just his advice, so I took that advice and I went elsewhere and got a Hiscox case online for this. Fits like a glove. When I do the separate review for it, I'll give you the model number and everything else. I own a lot of hard cases. It is absolutely superb. It's one of the super light or super flight or light flight or something like that cases. Deceptively light when you look at it. It's like a moulded polypropylene type stuff. I don't know what it's made of actually. You can look it up on the Hiscox website. They even show you how they're made in there. It's one impressive bit of kit. It looks bomb-proof and it's very light, and as I said, fits this guitar perfectly. Would fit any Super Jumbo. I think it's made for the Gibson J200, of which this is a copy. so it's exactly the same dimensions as this guitar, but it fits this one really well, and it's a great case for it. I'll be very happy transporting this in the back of the band van to a gig, not worried about it getting damaged at all once it's in that case. So I'll do a separate review on that. If you're thinking of buying this guitar, you might also want to think about buying a decent case for it to keep it nice, and the Hiscox case is definitely the way to go. So I think that's it, YouTube. That's my long-winded rambling review. I hope you found it useful. As I said, the intention was not to show you what a fantastic guitar player I am, because I'm not, but more just to explain to you in plain English what all these fancy words that they use on the Epiphone website are to describe the particular features of this guitar and what it means in a sort of real world type situation. So as I said, I hope you found that useful. I'm going to do a quick close-up now of the guitar while it's on the stand there. Let's see if I can get a bit of light on the subject actually. Sorry if my video's gone a bit wobbly. There you go. So there it is on the stand, and going up the way. And as you can see, the amp I was putting it through is that little Ashdown, it's still switched on by the sounds of it, that Ashdown 100 watt acoustic radiator. And as I said, I'm a bit of a fan of Epiphone guitars because I have a nice Les Paul custom there in Alpine White, which is lovely, and my latest acquisition, which is a 1960s tribute edition with Gibson 57 pickups in it, in faded cherry burst, which is an absolute beauty. There she is, 1960s tribute edition. And then over here, you may remember me saying that the reason I'm showing you all this is just to prove the point of what an Epiphone fan I am. That's my normal band bass. There is the Thunderbird 4, which I absolutely love. But then I really wanted one of these when I saw it, the Jack Cassidy Signature Series bass in Silver Burst, a limited edition, only came out there last month. Happened to coincide perfectly with my turning 40, and so I thought, you know what, you're only this way once, and I'll do separate reviews on that that bass because it really is lovely, and I'll do a separate review on the Hiscox hard case for the acoustic, and I may even do one on the 1960s tribute if I get some positive comments. So please hit the like button there, YouTubers, and catch you later. Stay safe.